Time now for PFT on Yahoo Sports. Peter King and Mike Florio, all the big stories in the NFL. And the biggest story right now continues to be the aftermath of whatever it is that we saw transpire in the third quarter of the Buccaneers-Jets game at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. Antonio Brown removing the shoulder pads and jersey and undershirt and gloves and running off the field, maybe for the last time ever in the NFL. Peter, what's your big takeaway now that we've both had a couple of nights to sleep on it and reflect on what we saw and also the news that has come out over the past day or so?
Well, Mike, I think regardless of what led to the eruption by Antonio Brown and leaving the field in a very odd manner, to put it mildly, at the Meadowlands, just, if we want to move ahead 6, 8, 10 weeks, I mean, I would be stunned if no matter what his rehab is done, mentally, physically, if Antonio Brown gets another chance from another team. He's already basically ruined his chance to be an impact player for 2 years in a row on a Super Bowl team. And regardless, as I say, if there is some mental problem right now with Antonio Brown, or as Chris Nowinski of the Concussion Legacy Institute in Boston has said, if it is some form, early form of CTE, which no one can know, whatever it is, let's all just sit back and figure out what exactly the reasons are before we make any long-term value judgments about Antonio Brown. However, in terms of whether anybody would take a chance on him anymore, I just really don't see a way that you can do it based on his history of irrational behavior.
But, he's come back from a lot worse than what we saw on Sunday. What we saw on Sunday was just different from anything we've seen before. He had off-field incidents with real victims, allegedly, if not actually, in the past. He's had criminal misconduct. He was on probation for felony charges. So he's done a lot worse in the grand scheme of things. And, Peter, talent continues to rule the day for professional sports. The Buccaneers gave him another second chance after the fake vaccination card incident, despite everything that Bruce Arians had huffed and puffed about in the past, including, you better not jeopardize me or Tom Moore. Tom Moore, 83 years old. Bruce Arians, a multiple-time cancer survivor, and you're bringing the potential virus in an unvaccinated person into the facility, into the building, into the locker room, onto the sidelines because you're lying about your status. Came back from that. I have a feeling that if he's available, one of these contending teams that is trying to grab the brass ring, and the Chiefs are the team that is first on my list because they gave Josh Gordon his latest second chance, and he's got 5 catches for 32 yards in 11 games. Antonio Brown can do that in his sleep. I think that's one of the reasons why the Buccaneers didn't cut him yesterday. I'm starting to think the Buccaneers are looking for a way to keep him off their team, but to just make sure no one has a chance to give in to the temptation to add him and put the Bucs in a position where they have to deal with him at some point in the postseason.
Yeah, I just don't see it, Mike. I can't. Can you imagine if a coach goes to some owner right now? I mean, maybe Andy Reid could do it with Clark Hunt. I don't know. But if I was any owner in the league and my coach came to me in the next 2 weeks and said, we can get Antonio Brown just to come in here and scotch tape a banged-up receiving core, if I were the owner who said, I would say don't even think about it. I can't imagine in a year when a guy did something felonious in falsifying a vaccination card, and now this, I think it'd be crazy to consider signing him.
I'll tell you what, one last point. If he is shunned by the NFL, I wonder what he knows about the entire fake vaccination card subculture, not just in Tampa, but elsewhere, and if he would decide to bare his soul to someone. Maybe it's in the NFL's interest for him to end up with another team. We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see you next time for more PFT on Yahoo Sports.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.